Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, dear attendees of the World Water Week, and welcome to the audience who is here, and also welcome to everyone watching online. This session is the open data to support SDG6 towards UN Water Conference 2023. WAPOR is the FAO's portal to monitor water productivity through open access of remotely sensed derived data. That is data that is captured by satellites in orbit. The satellite data is processed by open algorithms based on technology sound methodology to every 10 days generate data on water and land productivity. WAPOR is also the project that revolves around the database through which the FAO and its partners, the International Institute for Water Management and the IHE Delft Institute for Water Education, assist countries in using this data to monitor water productivity, which corresponds to the yield that is produced in relation to the water used in the fields. And the project helps countries identify productivity gaps and formulate solutions to reduce these gaps and contribute to an increase in agricultural production while using water resources more sustainably. And this is in line with the SDG6 that aims to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. And in 2023, stakeholders in the field of water and adjacent fields will convene in New York for the UN Water Conference, marking the midpoint of the International Decade for Action in Water for Sustainable Development. And with me here today to discuss more about this project, I have Ms. Kitty van der Heijden, Director General, International Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, Mr. Lifeng Li, FAO Land and Water Division Director, and Ms. Ruda Novanga Luis, Director of Water Research Institute of Mozambique. A warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
So, can I ask you this question? Open data supports international cooperation on water management, which is at the core of the UN Water Conference 2023. How is the government of the Netherlands promoting it?
Look, I think many people know my country below sea level and grappling with every imaginable water problem, whether it's droughts, it's floods, it's subsidence, it is saltwater intrusion. We've seen it all. Now, the way we have managed water is by understanding water. And if you need to understand water, you need to have the right data to manage it. Because what gets measured gets managed. We've known that for centuries. And so for us, understanding water and food is incredibly important because we know that on average 75% of water is used for agriculture. In some of the countries I work in with development cooperation, it's 90%. So there is no water security, and there is no food security, and there is no human security unless we manage water as a finite resource that needs to be distributed in an equitable way. And that means looking at how we deal with that in the context of agriculture. Now, if you want to manage that, you need good institutions. And if you want to have good institutions, you need educated people. And you need these educated people to make not educated guesses, but to work based on science, to work based on data that tell you where things are and that help you project out where you need to go. And so that's for us why we invest so much in data, particularly open data. I'll come to that. We've been supporting institutions like the World Resources Institute with open data, geospatial data on floods, on deforestation. We're a proud supporter of the WAPOR database because we believe we need to start measuring water use in the agricultural sector. We need for everyone to then also have access to these data. It's not just having data, it's making sure that these data are not proprietary, that they are open for everyone. And so for us, making this as an open use database that everyone can access, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're in the south or in the north, whether you're a man or a woman, a small farmer or a big investor like Unilever, these data are required for everyone. So this is a global public good. That's why also we're very proud that Waper has now been recognized as a digital global public good. And that's why we think we need to scale this and scale it fast. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Lifeng Li, could you tell us what is FAO doing to concretely support countries in addressing their data and information gaps toward SDG6 monitoring and water productivity improvements?
Thank you very much for that very good question. FAO has the mandate, really, from the very beginning of the FAO was established. It's got the mandate to provide data, information, science, knowledge to the members related to agriculture, food security, and natural resource management. As you mentioned, the WAPA project is one of the examples that's how we as FAO really use the WAPA project to provide, to fulfill that mandate. And specifically under this WAPA project, namely, we focus on two interventions. First, for the most, it's data and information generation. Mm-hmm. So basically, we work with partners, develop the methodology to interpret the satellite image and get the information from the satellite image, get the information related to water, related to land use, and their productivity. And this has been done with EME, with the support of the Netherlands, with other partners. And so based on this, the collection of the data, then we establish this WAPA portal or WAPA database and make this database is accessible freely by everyone. And everyone can visit this database, download all the data they want to have, but also we also make the methodology is transparently and also shared with anyone. We develop the methodology and also the script. So anyone interested in this methodology can also access the methodology and use the software to interpret the remote sensing image and get their own data. Mm. And certainly the data developed by the WAPA can be used for different purposes. For example, we have the low resolution data, which is basically which is 200 meters resolution. And that resolution of data can help the decision makers to have the big picture view at the national level, especially. That certainly will contribute to the national reporting of SDGs. We also have the high resolution data, which is 100 meter and 30 meters resolution. And that data can really dive into the details at the parcel level on the ground that tell us the really much more details in terms of water use and land productivity. We have that pilot in a number of countries, for example, in the Mozambique, in one of the irrigation schemes, which plant the sugarcane. And through that study, we can tell the difference of the water use efficiency if it's flooded, it's a surface flooded irrigation or flooded irrigation, or it's other different irrigation methodologies. Certainly the surface irrigation has much lower productivity. And through these kinds of study, we will make this, identify the best practice and how to also collect those best practice, hopefully to share with many other countries. So certainly the data generation is one of the major interventions. Certainly we know having data is only the part of the story. That's why the second intervention of this project is really to help the countries to build their capacity in terms of data generation, but also discuss with them how the data could be better used really to guide them, whether it's about overall national planning or on the ground specifically, how to use that data to guide the farmers to manage their crops, their land. So we already organized a number of the trainings with the partners in the country. For example, the trainings in Sudan, in Mali, in Tunisia, in Jordan, and in Iraq. organize the trainings to help them to understand the methodology, but also help them to understand how data could be further used in the specific country context. So we're really grateful to all the partners' contribution and to the very generous support from the Netherlands. And we hopefully this effort can be further replicated in many other countries. That's why we're talking about WAPA going global. So we also try to mobilize the resources from other potential supporting agencies, donors, to hopefully that we can help much more countries to use this data and use this methodology in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting to hear more what you can practically do with the data. Over to you, Ms. Rodanovangaluis. Innovative technologies can play an important role in assessing data and reporting on SDG6, but countries face challenges in adopting them and adopting to national context. What do you expect from the WAPOR project, and how will it contribute to national priorities?
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I would like to let you know that the Water Research Institute is a new institution. It was created by support of the Netherlands because it's a water issues, and Netherlands is one of the expertise on water issues. So that institute, it's a public institute, and it was created with the aim to provide research capacity in the country and adopt new technologies and contribute for the technological development related to water resources issues. So as a recent institution, our aim is also to build up a partnership with other institutes, for instance, with FAO and WAPO project right now, with academia, with another research institutes in the country related to the water, NGOs, and local stakeholders. So as a new institute, we're still working to make arrangements so that we have the new technologies, we adapt it, we disseminate it in the best way to be used in the context of Mozambique. As you know, Mozambique has another water issues such as floods, droughts, and plus the low infrastructure to deal with the SDG6 to make water available for all, sanitation, and sustainable management of that water. So we are trying to bring together all these issues in a way that this technology will serve the local community, particularly the local community where the water is really very scarce, but use this in the best way. Use it in a local context. Use it in a way that water will be available not for drinking, sanitation, but also for irrigation, for food productivity. Because we still have, irrigation has a very, the water used to agriculture is just 3/4 of the water use. So we still need to invest a lot on knowledge, technology for water irrigation, for food productivity in Mozambique. So our expectation is very high. From the first inception meeting we had with WAPOR, we are seeing huge opportunities, not only to find strategies for the SDG6, but also for food productivity and for agricultural irrigation. So that is our expectation within the country.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for listening.